This game has so many older gentleman characters, shall we say, that I'm sure many of us wish were love interests, but they're not. So great disappointment there, because, you know, some of the side characters, I would be more than happy if they replaced the main characters. Not that the main characters are, you know, not that the main love interests are lacking or anything like that, but I just have a preference for them. But so in that sense, it's quite annoying, to be honest. But at least I can look at them. It's like window shopping, right? You get to look at them. You might not be able to buy them, but you get to appreciate their beauty. That's what it's like. But yeah, so hello everyone, it's Luli, and today I'm going to be doing a first impressions of Battlefield Waltz. But before I start, I'd like to thank all of those who have supported me and my channel through Patreons, Ko-fis, subscriptions. I truly appreciate it. It really does help me keep motivated. Also, thank you to those who have boosted my server. That really means a lot as well. And lastly, note that although I would not consider any of what I include in this video as spoilers, I'm aware that what you consider spoilers and what I consider spoilers may not quite align, so if you're even a little bit sensitive and you don't even want to know what the characters look like, for example, then I would swiftly move on. But anyway, let me start. So firstly, let me tell you a little bit about what the plot is. Battlefield Waltz is about a main character, Lan. She lives in this small village that unfortunately one day gets attacked by a group of crazy people, and as a result of her trying to run away and rescue / protect her mother and this little friend of hers, she accidentally awakens the cursed sword, and because of that she gets kind of recruited by this, I don't know what it is, it's like a magic warrior kind of military school called Nirvana, and therefore she goes there and she hones her, I guess, fighting skills. And it's interesting because the students who attend Nirvana have to, you know, go to war whenever necessary. Like if there's a revolt or like a mob, they will be the ones that go out and defend the civilians. So it's this really weird kind of school / fantasy / military. It's kind of nice because the school life does feel somewhat more like university life, in that the focus isn't so much about the school but like the relationships, and it's almost like they can pick and choose what they're learning, I suppose. So yeah, it was quite fun, to be honest. Now there are 6 characters. You've got Abel, the kudere tsundere hybrid, I don't know, but he's really good at everything. He's like one of those characters, if you know what I mean. Very cool and collected, not very good with communicating, and the Gappamoy is adorable. You've got Pash, who is very, very tsun. He's kind of like gets flustered really easily. I think there's more of a backstory to him, but you don't really learn much, to be honest, in the common route. Then you've got Nika, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but it's spelled like Nike. And he is kind of like this healer guy. He's not very good at, you know, the fighting elements, so that's why he's a healer, and he's a little bit more kind of dark and dingy almost, a bit sort of calm, but I guess mature. I don't know. He's not really my type, to be honest, but I am kind of curious to see how his route progresses, just purely because I get the feeling, it's just an instinct, but I feel like it's going to be a angsty route. Then you got Lustin, hilarious name because he's very lustful. But he is the player character because we've already, you know, got to have one, and he's one of the routes I'm on right now, and he's a lot of fun, to be honest. And then you've got like the one I'm most looking forward to, who is Tifalet. He has that kind of mature vibe about him, very mysterious. All the girls love him, but he's like, nope, I'm not interested in you at all. I feel like there's going to be a dark side to him. I don't know. Again, this is my instinct. It's not based on any info from the common route or anything like that. So it's not spoilers. It's just based on like the way he looks and the vibes he gives off. I feel like it's going to be an interesting backstory or something. I just have so many questions. And looks-wise, he's my type. Personality-wise, he's my type. The mysterious side is my type. So I'm very much looking forward to him. And last but not least, I'm not going to say who it is, but he's a secret love interest. I have only played Abel route because hence why this is the first impressions. But even in Abel's route, I have not yet learned what the secret love interest looks like. So unfortunately, I have been spoiled through like promotional material, but you don't know who the secret love interest is for, I don't know how long, but a very long time. It stays as a little shadow thing. So I'm not going to say anything so that you get to learn on your own time, but I am really curious about his route as well. I think they're going to be the truth route. Just a guess, I think they're going to be the truth route though. Now moving on to the system, the common route sort of took approximately like 4 hours, and then the character route, Abel, for me took about 3 to 4 hours. Note that I do tend to skip voice lines. I get impatient. I just want to know what happens next. I'll be like half listening, but I'll cut them off, if you know what I mean. So that at that pace, it's about 4 hours. There is unfortunately no skip to next option. You have to literally wait while it skip reads, and it takes so unbelievably long. So I highly recommend you use a walkthrough so that you can like save your time by kind of saving at points where you can go straight into the character routes, if you know what I mean. The UI is definitely also extremely dated. The screen that's like, oh, chapter 1 looks literally like a PowerPoint or something, like early 2000s. Admittedly, I found it bloody hilarious because it's like nostalgic of anything. But yeah, so I'm not gonna lie, the UI isn't amazing. It does take forever to skip, but if you're okay with that, this is a fun game. There's also a map function, so in the common route, you'll have like the school with like the faces of all the different characters, and you can go and like talk to them and stuff, and that increases your affection, I think. But I love that sort of thing. I don't know, it just feels a bit more interactive, I guess. It's not like true gameplay, but it feels a bit like more than just reading, you know, so I quite like that. Now, while the UI is dated, at least there is love catch and an affections sort of page. So if you are opposed to using a walkthrough, then you can kind of go through and check how much your affection has been going up and all of that. It's not completely blind, which is something. Now, one of the biggest positives of this game is that there are so many CGs per character. You know, recently the games that released, I think that, I'm not gonna lie, they can be a bit stingy with the CGs in Otome games, but this one, I think you get like, I think one of my server members said 16 CGs per character, which is an insane amount. And, you know, I've only played Abel route so far, but it's nice because you see like a kiss scene, and then like the way in which that scene is kind of going on, because the CGs, it's not just like one CG, you'll have like 3 for that scene, and it kind of shows the progression of whatever's happening there. And it's just refreshing because we don't get that anymore, and it feels a lot more immersive and more fun. It's more visual rather than just imagination. And yeah, so I think that is a massive positive and selling point of this game. Are you in the West looking to buy visual novels from DL site, but Visa and MasterCard aren't working for you? Or simply you have crypto lying around and you really want to spend it on pretty waifus or handsome husbandos? Because if you answered yes to any of these questions, then I have some great news for you. DL site has now implemented a system, DL Pay, in which you can use your crypto to purchase DL points. DL points can then be used as currency on DL site to purchase all the games that you would like. Now there's no need to convert your assets back into traditional currency. So what are you waiting for? Enjoy DL site through DL Pay. Moving on to the vibe, my thoughts about the game, as well as I suppose my rating. I really enjoy it. I don't think it's like anything spectacular, don't get me wrong, but like the fantasy vibes feel kind of cozy, that it's kind of at least Abel's route felt very like shoujo manga-esque. The way the love story developed, I thought it was very cute, and there were just plenty of doki doki moments, if you know what I mean. So I don't know, this did feel very much like a classic Otome game in that sense, where you've got like your cute sides, but then you've also got like some level of plot. But yeah, I really like it. I guess I was feeling like a fantasy, and I like that it's a mix between school fantasy and like a bit of military, so it's not just like a complete fantasy world that my head is like, oh, I don't know what's going on, but it's not like realistic either. It's just that nice mix. I also feel nice that there are so many kind of characters, like side characters, and they all actually have sprites, because that's another thing I've noticed with a lot of games, is that you might have all these side characters but they don't have a sprite, which is such a shame. Now the downside is that this game has so many older gentleman characters, shall we say, that I'm sure many of us wish were love interests, but they're not. So great disappointment there, because, you know, some of the side characters, I would be more than happy if they replaced the main characters. Not that the main characters are, you know, not that the main love interests are lacking or anything like that, but I just have a preference for them. But so in that sense, it's quite annoying, to be honest, but at least I can look at them. It's like window shopping, right? You get to look at them. You might not be able to buy them, but you get to appreciate their beauty. That's what it's like. But yeah, so pros and cons. My overall rating, I would say, is probably like 7 out of 10, maybe. I wouldn't say like it's anything spectacular, but because it's such an old title that's finally been localized, it feels a lot more refreshing than the recent Otome games. So I do recommend it, maybe as a way to get out of burnout if you're sort of feeling it, because it does feel refreshing, and I think it's quite a nice pace, and that I didn't feel like it dragged on. A lot of the common route, there was a purpose in each thing that happened. It wasn't like they're just sitting there eating because we need to get to know the characters. You got to know the characters through the plot, and I really appreciate that. I'm very much I just want to, like, I need things to be straight to the point. I don't like all this faffing around because I feel like I'm wasting my time. No, the game, I felt like they respected your time, and in the common route, things happen for a reason. You got to know the characters through the plot, and by the time you get to the character routes, you've gotten to know them, but you haven't like felt like your time was wasted either. So I really enjoyed it. Again, I don't think it's anything like spectacular. It's just if you like fantasy, if you like school, if you like sort of a military, like sparkly, but with a bit of angst. I'm sure there's going to be angst in the other routes I'm going to play. Then I think this may be quite a good one for you. However, if you're the type that really likes extensive common routes and like serious in-depth character development and in-depth everything, this may not be the game for you. Also, the main character is very kind of tame. I don't think she has a strong personality necessarily. I personally am quite happy with that, because I mean, I don't really care. If it's a tame main character, I just don't really feel particularly strong about her or not, if that makes sense. I wouldn't say she's like a constant being protected character either, but I understand that there are many who likes the super strong, powerful, like Anastasia from Even of Tempest or Shanna from Birushana kind of people. So if you aren't so fond of like the tame main characters, this may not be for you either. I'm just trying to think of like who it would be good for and who it would not be good for, but personally it has been a fun experience so far. And if a friend came to me and was like, Luli, shall I buy Battlefield Waltz? I would line up all of these like good things and bad things, but ultimately be like, yeah, I enjoyed it, if you know what I mean. But anyway, I think that's all I have to say for it. Do let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. As always, guys, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and hopefully I will see you in another one of my videos or streams. Bye!